Good evening, everybody. How you doing? I just wanted to go ahead and do a live, probably not a 2 hour one, probably about an hour, hour 15 minutes, because I really was going to do one for probably to later this week or do anything else. I was moved to do it because, excuse me, one of my followers, Leia, howdy JD, welcome. One of my followers, Leia, sent me a video of that ID Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that town meeting with the congressman. I don't know his name. Of that woman who made a question or objected, and suddenly she had three men in black leather coats telling her to get out, and there was some other guy screaming at her with a phone to get out. Disrespect. The congressman in the background was talking about these children these days bullshit. And she kept saying, "Are you an officer? Show me your badge. Show me your badge." They didn't. There was, first of all, it was the big guy, bald guy, and then came one guy looking like something from the blacklist, and then came a second one, all dressed in Gestapo black. And three of them grabbed this woman and dragged her out. That's bad enough. What really pissed me off, though, everyone around them saw what's going on. They didn't show any badges. People were screaming to show badges. And not one of those motherfuckers in the audience got up and stood and say no. Or jumped on the guys and pushed them off the wall. They were attacking a woman, abusing a woman whose only crime was to question that motherfucker on the stage for his bullshit. That motherfucker, and I need to know his name, that motherfucker brought a security team with him. He brought his own Gestapo with him. And as soon as it got hot, he set him up what? Not a man, on a woman. Motherfucker. So this is titled "What We're Gonna Do Now." Because now we're hitting the rubber in the road. First, we had all the town halls where Republicans will find out, ooh, shit ain't looking good. And now we get the one where I was afraid it was going to happen. The one where they're going to make sure that if you say anything, violence is a sue. And this is on top of Michael Fione getting accosted by Enrique Tarrio, the fucking terrorist who was in jail for what he did on January 6th, including abusing Fione and his officers. That motherfucker was in the Capitol. In the goddamn Capitol, abusing Fione. Calling him a pussy. Calling him weak. He was doing the hold me back bullshit. See, this is where we're at now. Now we need to talk about what's our next steps, guys. Are we going to stand up, or are we going to stand there and let what happened to that lady happen? So, I mean, that's why I'm here, because it's the typical thing. Also, they've got, as you can see, Kash Patel became FBI director, which is bad enough. Then he brought that weird-ass guy who I never thought was a podcaster or real. I thought he was a joke on Fox News as the deputy director of the FBI. Oh my God. That's just wrong and scary at the same time. So, that's where we're at right now. I'm going to ask a couple people, see if they have any opinions here. But that's where we're at right now. I mean, I'm just want to know if you guys are feeling it like me. Are you... do you think are people going to stop? Are people going to stand up? Or we're going to be kind of screwed here? That's my question to all you guys. Hey, JD, what's up?
How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to do one. Honestly, I was at work, and I got that from lunch, during my lunch. And I'm like, oh, holy shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
and these
wild.
guys, they had black coats, black turtlenecks. Jesus. I mean, I'm like going, shit. Well, you mean that was really out of central casting saying, I am the bad guy in this shot.
Yeah.
And, and, and everyone just sat there and watched her get dragged out. And not one got out of their fucking asses and stopped her. I mean, I, am I wrong to jump on these people? I
No,
mean,
I mean, what you saw everybody had their phone out and they were all filming it, but no one got up.
right,
I can tell you right now, if I was there, I'd have been throwing hands.
right. And the thing about it is that, personally, I mean, I saw that and I'm going, I'm 63 with bad knees. I would have taken a shot. Probably would have got my ass kicked, but at least I know I did something.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I looked
Try.
at it.
Just stand up and try. You know.
I mean, and the thing about it's like there were more of them in the audience than those three guys. And if they bull rushed those guys, they were going to be on their back feet
Oh
to
yeah.
get out. But they didn't do it. And I'm just like going, did you not see what was going on? I mean, they dragged her out by her fucking hair, literally.
That was
Uh,
nuts. I mean, I was
it,
raised. Obviously, I was raised to never lay hands on a woman like that. You know, if you want to pick on somebody, pick on someone your own size.
no,
Don't.
that wasn't staged, Laurel. I didn't see staging. And even if it was staged and someone's going to get hurt as an actor, because I'm not going to let them do it. I'm not letting them do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
don't know.
just, I mean, it's, because that's what they do. Okay. What they do is whoever stands up, they make sure that the example of them is an example to everyone else, and they stand there and go, now if you don't want this to happen to you, you do what we say.
It's. I tell you
And
right now, it's going to have the opposite effect. I can tell you. I guarantee you that. Next time it happens, people are going to be ready for that shit.
because I mean, you've seen some of these town halls are getting raucous
Oh yeah.
because people aren't buying their bullshit, and this isn't just they're saying, well, this is a bunch of Democrats. No, those aren't Democrats. Hi, Kim. Yeah, let me go ahead and get her real quick. Um,
Ruby Red.
yeah, these are
District.
constituents. So, and hey, Kim, how you doing?
Hey, good.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. So what happened is that Miss Leia, who's one of my followers, sent me a video. They had and if you're there, if you can look it up, maybe you can find it. There was a town hall in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I don't know the name of the congressman. Do you know who that was, JD? Because I didn't catch that. I was so pissed. I didn't see
I
his
would
name.
I would have to look it up.
Yeah. And anyway, so this woman asked the congresswoman a question, and all of a sudden, one guy came up and started screaming at her, telling her to leave. She goes, I don't have to leave. And all of a sudden, one guy dressed in literally black grabbed her, told her to leave, and he goes, are you police? He says, yeah, I'm police. Well, show me your badge. And then what happened? Two of the same type of dressed guys showed up and dragged her ass out.
Mm,
Literally dragged her out. I'm
that's
talking
crazy.
United Airlines dragged her out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm watching, I'm going, and the thing about it that upset me was I kept seeing there was a whole audience in there, and they did nothing. Just
They
watched
just
her get dragged out.
they
They
just sat
screamed and
there and
yelled,
I mean,
used their cameras, but no one stood up in front of these guys.
Did they have
And
weapons?
no, they were dressed in black. They weren't even police. Well, we're not talking like state troopers I've seen drag people out. At that point, you have to think about it because then it gets that's weird. It's not right. To take those on, you better be ready. That's what I'm saying. For this was three guys that looked pretty much the same, black turtlenecks, wore black long leather coats, and they kept saying they were cops, but they kept saying show the badge. They didn't. They just went and grabbed a woman and dragged her out by her hair, her feet, took her out for disagreeing with the congressman who was in the background talking about this is what happens when young people don't respect their elders. It was disgusting.
Crazy.
And they were just questioning again these congressmen that were elected, thinking that they were elected to do whatever Trump says. What's going on now is that their people are saying, no, we didn't want you to do that. We want you to do what he promised us. You know, where's the better economy? Where's the better prices on groceries? Where is it?
Yeah.
And nothing.
Well,
Absolutely nothing.
Trump thinks he's a king, and I guess these guys are his court.
Well, what's happening is, until now, all these congressmen have been able to just go to their districts and say the buzzwords. And the buzzwords would get everybody all whipped up into a frenzy. And so what they thought would happen was that they could just go back to these town halls and say the buzzwords and get everybody going, yeah, good, you're doing great, yeah. And you can tell in all of these videos that these congressmen were on the back foot. They didn't see it coming. And,
Yeah, but now they're getting nasty. They're
Oh,
one,
yeah.
you know, I mean, they don't even want to hear about it. Hey, Shane, what's up? You with us, Shane?
Oh yeah, I'm here. All right,
Okay.
I went up by
Got-
mistake, but
Say again, sir?
I said I got up here by mistake.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Did you have any opinion what we're talking about, or?
Yeah, I'm totally. I didn't know about this, but yeah, I would have been with you. I would have been up in their faces. I can't believe people let this go on.
It was bad. It was bad. I was not. I definitely was not. I was just disappointed. There's a whole room of those people, and these guys aren't cops. We could
Yeah.
see it.
I mean,
And so,
they should have took those guys on.
oh yeah.
at least bull rush them.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do anything, but I certainly would have spoken up.
Or stand in their way. I mean, personally, I would have gotten hurt because I would have been on them. Because, no, honestly, I know what I mean, honestly, I would have gotten hurt. My knees aren't good. I would have grabbed them. I might have bitten one of them. I mean, fuck it. We're going to fight dirty. Let's get it on. I mean,
I'm
that's the
old
way I
too.
was looking at that point.
I'm old too,
Um,
but I would have did something.
Let me rephrase that. I probably would have run over him with my scooter.
That'll hurt.
Yeah, that would
Hey,
have been
Tucker,
great.
hey, Trucker, how's it going, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. You kind of got an idea of what we're talking about right now, correct? What I
Oh
was
yeah.
touching on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
I saw that, and I can tell you that I was appalled by it. And I think what got me the most is that they cheered. Well, some of them cheered as they were dragging her out of there, and not one of them tried to help her, which was absolutely insane.
yeah, it was. And the thing about it's like they weren't cops.
No, they
Later
were.
on, the sheriff of Coeur d'Alene said, "No, I don't know who they are," which disturbs me more because that tells me these congressmen are bringing their own security.
Yeah, they're bringing
Yeah,
thugs.
he knew who they were because he was telling them to remove her. He kept standing back as they were doing it, right? So then he decided to pull the "I don't know who they are" card. But now the
Right.
chief is looking into it and saying, "Hey, listen, we had officers there for that exact reason. They did not call our officers until they were dragging her out of there." So
Then why weren't the officers stopping an assault?
that's my
I know
point
it's. I
exactly.
know. Well, I know why. It's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I know what that place is like. I
But they
mean,
probably
it's
didn't expect for her to be a doctor either, right? So it's not like she was just some random person. She's a doctor.
what you know, if you hear it on the video, that guy's going, the congressman is going, yeah, this is what happens when these young people don't know what they're talking about. So these
Yeah.
young people have no respect. Yeah, this no, she ain't a young person, brother, and she's not a dummy. It was ridiculous, the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I would have went to jail with her that day because I mean, they were laying on her back, they were tugging everywhere. I mean, it just didn't look like America, right?
I would have
No,
gone
I
to
mean the
jail.
last time, yeah, the last time I saw something that bad was that guy got dragged out of the United Airlines aircraft.
I don't think I've seen
I
that one.
mean, oh, you got to look that up. It was a few years back. This guy, they overbooked the plane, and they told her you had to go. Told her, they came up to this one young guy, you got to go. He goes, I'm not going to go. And they literally dragged him off the aircraft by his head,
Ouch.
bleeding. And United Airlines took shit for months on that one. It was ugly,
He probably
totally
has his own
ugly.
private plane now.
It was not fun. It was not fun. But yeah, it was. But see, go ahead,
Hey, old
JD.
soul.
Hey, how's
Hey,
it
also,
going?
Oh,
okay,
so
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
good.
it's fine.
I have a
This was
question.
impromptu. Go
Oh,
ahead,
go
ma'am.
ahead, go ahead. No,
No,
it's
go ahead.
okay. Go
Your
ahead. I was
question.
listening.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. I was going to ask you what you're
Okay,
saying.
so
Go ahead.
the question is, the Wild Child and I, we were talking about Republicans wanted to make Canada the 51st state, right? But Canada is more liberal than California, which means they will be a blue, like heavy, heavy blue state. They want, health care for all and all of that, right? But how many electoral college votes will they get? Would it be like, I was thinking 45 or 50, but I could be off. And I don't know if anybody knows the answer
It,
to that.
as far as I understand, it would be about 70 or so.
Yeah, it would
Wow,
be
that
more
many?
than California.
Basically,
I
that
mean,
in short, no Republican would ever hold the Oval Office again.
Right. So we were discussing that because she's 17 and she's like into politics. And so she was saying, like, why would they want Canada? It would guarantee that they would lose forever. And I was like, I don't think any of them ever thought about that because I didn't really think about it until she asked me.
The only thing they'd be able to do is they might be able to get the Senate every now and then,
Mm.
but House of Representatives definitely not. But
And they
yeah,
I
wouldn't be
mean
voting for no
that's just
Republican
ridiculous.
president ever.
I mean, this whole Canadian thing is started as Trump messing with Trudeau, but Trump being Trump actually thinks this is a good idea. And they actually believe in manifest destiny, these assholes in the White House right now around him. And it's insane because that's not going to happen. That's not going
Right.
to happen.
And
It's
why would
just
they even
crazy.
want it? So I'm thinking, okay, clearly Trump doesn't know any better, right? But the people around him know better. So I don't understand why they're like letting him run off with 51st state when it would do nothing but hurt them. It's so weird to me. I didn't even think about it. So yeah.
I think it's just
Um,
they're not. I don't think they're serious about it.
Oh, they're
They're
just
just
keeping them busy.
yeah, they're just keeping the kids busy while the adults do something stupid in the background.
Well, when do
That
they
makes sense.
ever think anything through, right? Like getting rid of the nuclear scientists. Oh, my bad. We need you guys.
Right.
I mean, the letters they sent out. That letter sent out to goes to went to air traffic controllers. Really, if all the air traffic controllers quit right now, that would be insane. There
It
would be no
would.
travel,
That
no
that would
travel at
end.
all.
I'm pretty sure that would end this administration.
But I mean, I don't know. Watching that today, and then I don't know if you guys saw the SAG Awards with Jane Fonda the other night on Sunday.
Yeah, I
My
did.
wife brought this to my attention. One, because she told me Jane Fonda's 87. I'm going, what? Okay. Barbarella is 87. That just laid on me. But her speech talked about what we have to do, and she talked about the past, civil rights. She talked
Mm-hmm.
about, stepping on this, knowing what's going on. She talked about Stonewall. She talked about times that Americans knew that they were going to get hurt. They
Yeah.
knew what was coming and to stand up for their rights. And she's asking everyone, are you willing to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the biggest question for everyone, and even those in the room. Do you think America's willing to do that? To do what they did for the civil rights movement? To stand up for people like that? Knowing they may not come out on the other end?
True.
I
Yeah.
would say so. If you look
I
at
think
a lot of these Republican congressmen and women that are, you know, meeting their constituents, and like the guy said earlier, they just have their regular talking points, but they're not working now. They're screaming, they're yelling, they're upset. People are mad. I didn't expect to see that in Kansas. I didn't expect to see that in Roswell, Georgia, and I damn
Mm-hmm.
sure didn't expect to see that in Iowa. So I think so.
I
you know
think
And
we
but
would do it, and I think like even though we're seeing all those town halls, and they're getting upset, the reason I think they're not ready yet is because they keep saying Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk has to go. And they're not blaming Trump for putting Elon in that position, but not only that, but for not checking his ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's allowing him to do it. So they're still not wanting to blame Trump. They're blaming Elon Musk for his behavior as well as Trump's decisions. Once they start going after Trump the same way they're going after Elon Musk, then it's a problem. And it's going to be out of control.
That's a good point. Great
yeah
point.
but but some of them have questioned Trump's words about being king. They're not buying that as a joke.
Yeah.
They're not buying that as a joke. I'm
I'm
not.
seeing I'm seeing some of them upset about the Kings, but it's like that's kind of like a small fraction of the base. And I think a majority of the base have to start to hold Trump accountable. Even though Elon Musk is doing this crap, I've been telling people, yeah, but who is allowing him to do it? If Trump can put him in that position, Trump can take him out of that position. So how is this not on Trump? I don't get that.
yeah yeah. So
Well,
one
I
thing
mean,
I've been thinking about
they're still blaming Biden for shit. Go ahead, JD. I'm sorry.
one thing that I've been thinking about too, with along the question of are people ready? You know, I think once people see a resistance forming, people are going to be more apt to jump on. You know, I really think that if we start it, I think it'll snowball.
But the question I have, and my concern is the way that they control big groups,
Hmm.
because they don't have enough military to stop it. But if you look at what happened in China with Tiananmen Square, I mean, it was just a show of force to the few as a warning to the many. Do you want that?
Right.
I mean, if you don't behave, you're going to get this. You're going to end up in camps. You're going to end up dead. You're going to end up tortured. You're going to end up disappeared like they did in Argentina.
Hmm.
Are we willing to go that far? I mean, to knowing that I know that like in Iran, the women who protested 2 years ago kept protesting, but it didn't change anything. A lot of them died.
Yeah.
And the point is, and even like if you look at Syria, you have the same thing. We're a bigger country, but the point I'm worried is if you do it, it's a one shot thing. Because they're to put it down, everyone goes, okay, we'll go with it because we don't want to get hurt. Then we got issues.
Right.
Then it's over. Does that make sense, or am I
Yeah, I think
overthinking this?
I think more politicians need to speak up like the governor
Hmm.
of Maine did. They need to tell him right to his face that, this stuff needs to stop or I'm going to take you to court. And I mean, she just spoke right out and said that right to his face in that audience that she was in for whatever that meeting
That
was.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
just
hell,
And more
listen to
need,
the governor of New York.
she
yeah, more
told him
needs to do
today
that.
that if he withholds funding for Maine, that she will stop all federal taxes of her citizens in Maine and not send them
Good.
down.
I
This
didn't
is
hear
what
that
we
part. That's
needed.
good.
But it showed how ignorant and ill-informed Donald Trump is, because he's like, good luck on your next election or whatever crap he threatened her with. Okay, she's term limited, so there is no next election. He didn't
Exactly.
even know that when he said it. So it's just kind of like, that's an empty threat in and of itself.
But you think about it too. He did not. The transgender thing was not a law. It didn't go to Congress. It just was an executive order. And she said to him, "I'm following state and federal law. There is no law." Trump just said, "I signed it, and this is the way it's going to be." No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And all the comments I had on the video I made, well, it's Trump law. There's no such thing as Trump law. It's American law, U.S. law. There is no Trump law. And I swear to God, you people who keep coming to me in videos or in comments saying Trump's your daddy, that's your kink. I don't need that.
Oh,
Because I'll be honest, when someone says that to you, you got to look at them going, man, whatever, to each his own, but don't bring it to my house. Because who fucking says that? Who
I
really
would say
says that?
it is like 10 times more like creepy and gross when you hear them say it in person. Because like when I've been in like Texas helping women with like birth control and stuff like that, when you're in Trump country, dad is home, my dad is gonna do that, and you're like, this is weird. And they are so open with it. They call him daddy all the time. Daddy's home. He's gonna give you a spanking, Democrats, and all this weird stuff. And it's just like, how do y'all not hear how weird y'all are? How do
well,
you
they're all
not?
pedophiles anyway. You know what? Miss Lilly said that the politicians have zero integrity. They sold it for
Mm-hmm.
power. I saw a video today of that new deputy director, FBI guy. All he was talking
Ugh.
about was power, 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 power. He did it in parody, but I'm pretty sure he was serious. I don't
Does
know.
Oh, he's
MAGA not know
serious.
how much of a national security risk, not only just Hexeth, but I mean the people that they're putting around them is like even worse than the nominees themselves. They
You
don't
know,
feel a security risk to the United States when you don't have experienced people in those positions. Oh,
yeah, I served from 88 to 96. I was a mortarman. But
Oh, wow.
that doesn't make me the head of the, you know what I mean? It just
mm-hmm.
doesn't make any sense.
Then, hey, Trucker, you're the one, Trucker, I'm sorry. What's your name? I
Ter-
apologize. I'm
Terrence,
Will. Say, Terrence. Hey, so you're the one I need to ask. With the night of the long knives that happened on Sunday, with the removal of the joint with C.J. Brown and the female head of the Navy, and then they're slowly trying to kind of infiltrate the military. What does the military think? Are they really going to follow everything he says?
they
I mean, even
100%,
including.
no,
Go ahead, sir.
no, they 100% will not. Here's what they'll do, right? They'll write up orders, right? Because we did it all the time, but they won't follow through with them. There's absolutely no way that any self-respecting serviceman or woman will follow those directives because we just wouldn't do it. If we had like I had some bad orders in Desert Storm, I turned my head. I'm just not going to do it. I mean, it's against the Uniform Military Code of Justice, and I'm not going to be court-martialed for somebody else's uh, ignorance. Right? It comes a time where you just got to take a stand, or you'll fall for something. And I'm not. I wouldn't fall for Trump or Hegseth or any of those other
Right.
guys.
I'm
Because
glad to
it's.
hear you say that.
Go ahead, JD.
I'm glad to hear you say that. And something that I saw today was, so they had the governors meeting at the White House, this weekend, and so they
Oh
had
yes,
the dinner party, with the president and all the governors and like the
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and the U.S. Army choir came in and performed at the dinner, and they sang "Do You Hear the People Sing" from Les Miserables.
yes they did. And did you see what was it, Rubio and DeSantis's face when they
I
figured out
did.
what they were
They
doing?
looked terrified.
I loved it.
That was amazing.
It,
And
I mean,
for those of you in the chat that don't know what that song is about, read the lyrics.
oh, I know.
Because the song is about the people of an oppressed country overthrowing their overlords, more or less. So,
Oh, it's the French Revolution, brother.
Right
Oh,
to
yeah.
their
After the
face.
French
I love it.
Revolution.
oh yeah.
But see, the thing about it, they're sandwashing that. Thank you, you brought it up, Jay. They're sandwashing that in the media, saying he was requested by the first lady.
It definitely was
I
not.
read that. No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't. And
When was the
but
last
the
time you
media
talked to
keeps
Melania?
covering for this shit.
I'm sorry. Did you say that they said it was requested by the first lady?
Yes, sir, I did.
Jesus Christ.
We haven't
I,
even
I,
seen
I,
Melania. I don't know if you guys have heard, but that lady that follows him around with that printer.
Yes, I
I don't
heard
know if
that
you guys
today.
heard it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew about this or not, but the Secret Service got a hold of some letters that she was writing to Trump, and it's just so weird the way she was so weird and obsessed with Trump that the Secret Service is like panicking and trying to keep her away from him because she was saying
oh my
stuff in her letters
God.
like
Yeah,
he
they
was the
call
only
her
one for
his
me.
mistress.
Yeah, but she's like a psycho
Oh,
type of mistress. I'm like, that's if you guys don't know about that, you guys have got to check out that story. This woman is insane, crazy about Trump to the point to where the Secret Service is worried about her.
yeah, because a lot of people and the doomsayers here on there are convinced that that the military is literally just going to come in and roll over civilians.
Absolutely not.
I can't see that. I really can't. I mean, there
Nope.
might be some National Guard units that are corrupted, but I mean, no. I
Yeah, I'm sure
mean,
you're right about that. I mean, there's bad apples everywhere, right? But
Right.
there's no way that's going to happen.
What do you think about martial law then from the military? Like, would they enforce the curfew laws and all of that stuff? But as far as like fighting against other Americans is when they draw the line?
Well, something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
We call that simple warfare, and they would
Uh-huh.
probably go along with that. But anything like, I don't know, Greenland, right? They're not going over to
Mm.
Greenland to
right.
do anything. Hey, if I got to
Or
tell
invading
some
Canada.
9-year-old kid to go to bed, yeah, I'll do that. But that's about as far as it goes.
Hey,
But that's the point. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kim. Go
real
ahead.
quick, everybody. I might have to mute at some point, but I don't know how to do that.
Oh, if you look down at your mic, you see a little mic thing stand. Touch
No, I
it.
don't. That's the thing.
Just click
Tap,
click
tap the
click on
box.
where it shows your face or your puppy, and
Yep.
then you'll get a mic inside of that, and then hit save.
Yep, there you go.
Avatar is what I'm talking about. There you go.
By the way, Rebecca says Mike is live. So
Well, Mike's gonna have to wait a half hour. I'm gonna do an hour.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean,
I'm
'cause
surprised that we got old school on this one because she normally just sticks to the other guy.
she likes me. She thinks I'm
I
cute.
love Will. I love Will too. Like Will be more. I don't know, like if Boomer like talks to you or anything, but it's been a few times where I could not hold it together before recording, and it's kind of like he's like you the opposite of Will. Like you be ready to like go hard on somebody, and I'll be sitting there crying like, oh, this is so sad. I don't know if I can say this. Like it's crazy some of the stuff that I see, and then I have to kind of like swallow it and put on a good face when we're recording. And he's like, that's kind of like the opposite of Will. Like he cares
Yeah,
and
me.
he's passionate about it as you, but he ain't crying.
No,
Well, I'll
and the
say
thing about it,
this.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Terrence.
cut you off. I've
No, go ahead. You're
been
good, brother.
I've been listening and watching for a long time, and this is the very first time that I felt compelled to request myself to come up because I just sit back in the shadows. But when you were talking about that lady in Iowa, that just really bothered me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that was horrible.
it kind of broke my heart to watch the audience do that because it was a
Yeah.
woman and those weren't cops. I get the cop thing. I've seen that. You don't want to take on the cops because that could get real. That would, what's the word I'm looking for? Escalate to a point where more cops show up. I
Right.
get that part. But three guys in black leather coats looking
Hmm.
like central casting for mafia, that's different.
Yeah, we would have
And
turned that place upside down here.
yeah, and that's the thing. And the point is, what congressman carries that type of security? Who are they? Where did they
Right.
come from? That's a concern. Who's paying for them? And the people that are in these town halls are pissed because of the money. So
Mm-hmm.
the culture thing was fine. They got elected on their culture, counterculture bullshit was fine when they were still getting their money, still getting their Medicare, Medicaid, their SNAP. You know, they could hate at that point, but now, now they're messing with their money, and
Yep,
all this culture shit ain't gonna work because where's my money?
Right.
exactly.
You know,
And
I think like all
go
of
ahead.
us on the left were saying, okay, they won, but now they have to govern. And Republicans do not know how to govern. We kept telling them that they don't know how to govern. They only thing they can do is like make a bunch of noise and talk trash and get paid under the table. They don't know how to govern. And Republicans refuse to believe that. And I think this is a lesson that they are learning.
And part of it is Trump giving them Doge and Elon Musk.
Hmm.
They have abdicated governing. Any one of those congressmen said that's fine. We don't have to do anything because Trump is handling it. They have abdicated their power as the second branch of government because they don't want to do anything. They just want to
Right.
collect their money and talk shit about everyone that's not like them.
Yeah, but have you heard whenever they ask Trump a question, he'll say, "Oh, he's doing that. Well, let me check. Oh, I didn't know he was doing. Let me check."
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, bro? I mean, you don't know what this guy's doing. And the second thing I want to say is that old school scared the shit out of me just a few minutes ago because she had a valid point. They're mad at Elon. So what happens when he goes? Trump's still there.
Hmm.
I think the biggest mistake that Trump made is that he gave it to Elon Musk and Doge because let's face it, he's a lazy fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do the work.
No, he's
He
golfing.
just wants to stand in front of the press and spew his shit and play golf and look like the president doesn't want to do the work. So he gave it to Elon because 2025 people want to get stuff done. Let Elon handle it.
Well,
His mistake was that he. Go ahead, sir.
what's he gonna do when he runs out when Musk runs out his 120 days? He can only be a special whatever employee for 120 days.
He's
So
not
what's he?
supposed to, but he'll keep going because who's going to tell him no?
Yeah.
Republicans have no spine. Trump, he's afraid of, I swear to God, it's not a piss tape, it's a boo boo tape on Trump somewhere. I don't know how they just like keep holding this guy by his balls, knowing how narcissistic he is, and he just sits there and pout and let them do it. It's a tape on
But
him
what?
somewhere that even his
But
supporters will turn on him for.
no. The thing about it, though, I would have to disagree on one point. What do we know about Trump that he hasn't done that his supporters would desert him? I don't think there's
Epstein
anything they would desert him, to be honest.
stuff would
Well, let
come
me
out.
ask. Well, do you think that
Oh, that's a good point.
you
The
think that
Epstein stuff.
Big Balls, right, is the grandson of a KGB agent, or is that just some crap that's made up?
Yeah, I saw that today too.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
saw it, but I haven't researched it to know if it's true or
Yeah.
not. I will say I wouldn't be surprised though.
right. And then they
Knowing,
talk about the 87 or 88 Krasnov with Trump. I mean, there's something. Listen, if there's smoke, there's fire. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
no, Trump is a Russian asset. We know this. I mean, the hardest thing to watch in Germany, they have a conservative government, not a far right government, but a conservative government now. When the conservative government chancellor basically tells Trump to go fuck himself,
Hmm.
that means how far down he's gone. When
Yeah,
Trump actually supported, they vetoed in the Security Council the resolution condemning Russia for the Ukraine war.
Right.
And
yeah.
then the entire turning over. See, he didn't need the Senate to remove us from the NATO treaty. He's just doing what he's doing now, where Europe is just ignoring him. The French president helped me. Macron
Marcone?
is in Washington talking about the negotiations for Ukraine and Russia, but I don't know what he's going to get. He's feeling Trump out. Trump basically has said, if you want peace, you have to give us half of your rare materials.
Or Ukraine, yeah.
Well, but Russia gets to keep the same land they have. My point is, we have no right to demand a country's raw material. That's their riches to sell to support themselves.
Right.
What the fuck? I mean, it's this transactional bullshit. That's extortion, people, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
But everyone's going, that's being a strong man. No, it isn't.
Bullshit.
It's
It's called a
stupid.
quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think what's
go
bad
ahead.
for us, but it's bad for us, like horrible for us. And I hate this position, but it is great for the rest of the world because they get to sit and look at us and can learn about what Trump is trying to do, and they know that they do not want that in their countries like Germany
No,
and EU. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we can't do what America is doing. So I think like these little pockets that you're seeing pop up around the world, as a whole, they're gonna nip that crap in the bud.
yeah, 2000, when he came to power in 16, they really didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't know what he was. And there were still guardrails. You still had
Yeah,
civil servants that was stopping him. But when the legacy of Biden will always be NATO, the strength of NATO, and basically he convinced Europe you can stand on your own. Now with
yeah,
Trump, Europe is giving him the middle finger. We don't need you. They don't.
yeah.
They don't need us.
No, they don't.
Go ahead. So,
Hell, we
and
can't even get our vice president to wear a pair of pants that fucking fits. Jesus Christ.
what? And someone help me because I hate to be that guy, and I don't care how you look, but dear God, why does that man wear airline eyeliner? Is it
And
me?
heavy too.
I mean, it's like you see it coming off his eyes. I'm not looking at him going, dude. Just if you want to do it, just get the chalk white um, makeup and put the red lips and just call yourself the Joker because you're getting there.
Well, hasn't
It
anybody
is.
hasn't anybody told him that it's gender affirming?
No, he
No,
thinks he
I
makes him
think
look
the same.
manly.
Whoever does Trump makeup is the same person that's doing JD's eyeliner. Because it's
Well,
like whoever that is, y'all need to fire. This is insane.
he needs a tailor
And what?
because those pants were up above his socks.
Oh
And it
God,
pissed me
yes.
off.
Where's the flood?
And you know what? You get and there was. I remember reading about like when people were forced labor during the Second World War, they would sabotage stuff for the Germans. They would
Mhm.
sabotage like every shell or something like that. You got to tell me. You cannot tell me, Terrence, that the guy who's doing the tailoring, doing his pants, didn't do that on purpose. Did it on purpose, and he goes, "How's it look?" And he's going, and
Well, and here's the
and
problem with
everyone's
that, though.
laughing.
Here's the
Yeah,
problem.
and
When
everyone's laughing behind his back.
And
the,
JD
I
Vance
mean,
is looking down and saying, "Am I getting taller?"
no, you're not. The problem with that is it wasn't just once. When I saw the photo of him in the White House today, I purposely looked down there to see if his socks and pant line were aligned, and they were right. But everybody was in an uproar over Obama's tan suit. Jesus.
That
well,
part.
but I mean, his
And
tailor
I'm a
just basically said,
liberal.
"Hey,
I'm
give
not
him a
even a
full wardrobe."
Democrat. Right? I'm a liberal. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican.
Hmm.
I vote for the person, not the party. And
Right.
I've been leaning a lot toward Democratic lately. Well, because of Trump, right? Uh, but this is insane, bro. Just it's a clown show, and it yeah.
Think
There's a
about
price to. Go ahead.
JD Vance. I just have a question because I go back and forth
Hmm.
with her. What do you think about his wife? Because part of me feels like if I was married to someone and all of the people in his inner circle, his job, and he has to go on national television and bash immigrants knowing that we have brown children, that would really suck. But then the other part about me is I would never be able to be with a man like that. And I know you may not sign up for that, but once you see that's who it is, you take yourself and your children, you get the hell up out of there.
Yep.
Because what kind of issues and complexes are they going to grow up with? And you see it all the time. Like when I look at, you know, Black conservatives on our side, I'm like, that is some real self-hatred that's going on. I would not want my children in that position. But I go back and forth. Sometimes I feel sad for her because I'm like, the pressure got to be crazy. And when you look at her, she looks kind of like, I don't want to say ashy, but kind of like gray, where she is just like, there's no life in this woman at all. And that's sad. But I would leave if I was her.
Well,
Well, it's
I'm from
possible
Helena,
that she has
Arkansas,
a, yeah,
right?
I'm sorry, Terrence. It's possible that she has a prenup that states that she has to stay with him for a certain amount of time, or that she can't leave and she's not going to get any money, because she's used to a certain lifestyle now. And I don't think she's one to give that up.
Yeah, but that's not
Yeah,
going to matter
isn't she
here because,
educated? What I know she got like degrees and stuff, right?
yeah, she gave her job up. She's a lawyer. Hey, that's not
Yeah.
going to matter, the whole prenup business, because Trump is trying to get rid of that. Um,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know. I saw that.
I'm from Helena, Arkansas, and we believe in the crossroads. She sold her soul, and she's riding it out, right? She disappeared, if you think about it. Um, she disappeared before he even got if, before it got really hot and heavy. Like when he nominated him to be his vice president, and they found out who his wife was, and there was a bunch of strife with the white nationalists and Proud Boys. She just freaking vanished. She quit her job and
Yes.
gone.
They was in
So
Germany
That's
with him though before JD Vance gave that speech. And I was like looking at her when they, put the wreaths on. And I was just like, look how like dead she looks. I don't want to say dead, but like you could just tell that her life is she's missing that. There's nothing in her anymore. And I hate to see that happen. But if she wanna stay, she doesn't have like parents where she could send her children to. Like why they gotta be in the middle of this
Well,
crap?
you have to understand too, also that that's the type of women. That's where they want women to be at in this country.
exactly.
You listen to them when they describe women. There was a video of some guy that came across talking about where are old-fashioned women that'll do my bidding. And I
Mm.
looked at this guy, and look, I married a very beautiful woman, and she's independent as hell, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But this guy's talking about women that basically be your mama. If you want your wife to be your mama, you're an idiot. What good is
Yeah,
that?
you got
It's
you got
insane.
issues. Maybe he
I mean,
breastfed for
again,
too long or something. That's
yeah. Okay.
that's
I,
weird.
I still
And they
think they're
talk about
trying.
me.
I still think
Um,
they're trying to take us back to The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, they
oh,
definitely
to
are.
the again. Should have been that was supposed to be a fictional book, not a how-to book. Um, One thing I want to bring up because I just saw come across my email. Joy Reid. I want to bring this
Oh
up.
man. Yeah.
Joy Reid is starting her last show tonight with MSNBC. Um, First of all, MSNBC, fuck you,
Right.
fuck all of you. The new president came on because when she took over this new president of MSNBC, they were talking about moving toward an entertainment more show. MSNBC died when Mika and Joe went and bowed to Trump, and this is the final steps of it. Alex Wagner is gone because she was a pain in the ass too. But Joy Reid, who sometimes aggravated me till I listened really what she was trying to say, is
Hmm.
brilliant. And they think, and as soon as they did it, I know they're thinking that her platform is going to die. I thought of the Star Wars, where Obi-Wan tells Darth Vader, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you ever will believe. She's going to be powerful now. Jim Acosta got rolled out of CNN, and he's big, to the point that the press secretary of the bubble-headed bleach wand that comes out at 5 was pissy about it because he went at her hard.
And he should
He
have.
would never do that with CNN. You just cut Joy Reid loose. Good luck, guys. You have no
I could
idea what you just set loose.
Yeah, I don't see that she did anything wrong because I could see her towing that corporate line because her show, you could tell how she tried to keep that in check. But when you look at her social media, well, she go hard over there. And so I was
Yeah,
like, she's towing the line and doing what she needs to do, but she's just not going to get the same privileges as everybody else. Where you could, it was sad for me to see them let her go, but she could do a Don Lemon because he out here killing it right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
Don Lemon. I mean, when Don Lemon on CNN was boring, Don
Mm-hmm.
Lemon outside of CNN is amazing now.
Hmm.
did you see
Yeah.
his video
Um,
tonight about Drop Dead?
I
no,
Um,
I
didn't
didn't
see
see it. What
it.
was it about,
the
Terrence?
one about Megan Kelly. Um,
No, I'm gonna have to watch it because I know he got
oh,
petty, didn't he?
he says, and I'm trying to remember it. He says, and this is to Megan Kelly. Fuck you. I was like, whoa. I
I
was like,
love it.
I've got to watch this because he was upset over her comments that she made about Joy Reid, and he just, yeah,
Yeah,
it was one of his latest posts. It's out there.
Megan Kelly wishes she had inch of the talent of Joy Reid.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
She's she is been running on nepotism for decades.
yeah,
She
he
hasn't said
called her.
Yeah.
anything that means anything to anybody.
No, he called her
Um,
racist. He said, "Fuck you." I mean, all of this. I'm like,
yeah,
Don Lemon. Wow.
You, you've seen the Five Heartbeats, not the Five Heartbeats, but Diary of a Mad Black Woman from
Yes,
Tyler Perry.
I
That
have.
one part where he's like, "Don't let this suit fool you." That's what I think about when it comes to Don Lemon. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, he don't let that suit fool you. Because once
Well,
he got off
yeah.
CNN, he was completely different.
he was
Well, you
always
could.
prim and proper, and etiquette and whatnot. And today
Mm-hmm.
was the first day I heard him ever just get loose with it.
Well, I always thought he was holding back for some reason on CNN. It
Yeah.
always seemed like he was holding back, that he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say more and he knew he couldn't.
Well, Olive,
Yeah.
Mom, you are correct because he was.
Yep.
Man,
And that's
I gotta
beautiful.
watch the one for. I gotta watch it. So thank you, Terrence. I'm gonna watch it.
And like Jim Acosta is now loose with like he's on the Midas touch. He's doing something. He's loose, and he
Mm-hmm.
is even better than he was at CNN. And in CNN, he was the only reporter in CNN that He got rolled because Republican legislatures didn't want to get on the show, and they bitched and moaned because he would grab them by the hair and say, "You see this? It's like a dog looking at their mess on the ground. You did this. Why?" And
Because
they
I'm a
didn't
dog.
like it.
But you know,
Be-
like if you see like news from like other countries, especially Australia, 60 Minutes, what we see every time we have like a viral clip of an anchor like pushing back and giving them the facts and not letting them just run fast and loose with the truth, it's the complete opposite in other countries. Like that's what they do. But out here it's a big deal, but they be looking at us like that's journalism, that's what they're supposed to do. So I don't think that we even know what true journalism is any longer. You ask questions, you hold their feet to the fire, and you follow up. Now all of a sudden you're rude and you're partisan and all this other kind of crap. It's crazy
yeah,
that
well, they
let them
bought
do that.
into that. They bought into this political correct bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, in the days of the 60 Minutes, when Mike Wallace showed up at your door, you were fucked. You knew
Yeah.
it, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah. You get
And
a
the,
visit from
and
Mike Wallace, it's over.
it
Hmm.
was over because you knew that it was, that he found everything out. But they don't do that anymore. They make it. They're so. It's disgusting to read what they say now because it's
Yeah.
always, and I think Lawrence O'Donnell, the last vestige now on MSNBC,
Hmm.
said it right. They sane wash everything. They make everything look. That's what I was telling you, Terrence. The reason I saw that about the Army Choir, that came from MSNBC. They
Exactly.
said that was requested by the First Lady, and I'm going, that song?
That's
First of all,
bullshit.
I don't even think she knows what it is.
She doesn't.
And two, she doesn't, and they're covering for Trump. They're covering because they probably, what are you going to sing? America the Beautiful. Okay, that's great. Bam, they came out and did this. You know that's what happened. There's going to be a
Hmm.
head rolling somewhere
Yeah.
on that one.
You want to know when I think all of this turned? This was on, on his very first presidency. And Kellyanne Conway came out and said, and I
Oh
quote,
God.
alternative facts.
Oh.
And that's when all of this shit started happening.
Yeah.
We've never
They were
heard that
lying.
before in
Yeah, they
politics.
were lying before, but it's so blatant at this point to where you don't even have to deny it. Oh, it's an alternative fact. We think the
Bingo.
world is flat. You think it's round. It's an alternative fact. It's like a fact is a freaking fact. Why do these people? I cannot with these people and these lies. It's beyond me.
I think that's when it all
Yeah,
changed. I really do. I think that's when everything changed.
yeah,
Well,
and
I,
then
I don't
I
science.
agree. But then you've also got Elon standing next to Trump at the Resolute desk saying that, oh, well, I'm not always going to be right.
Well,
There's
fuck
going to be
Elon
times
and
I'm
his
right.
wrong.
booger picking son. Fuck him.
My wild child calls him a little shit. She was like, "Did you see what
Oh,
Elon's little shit did?" And I was like, "Would you stop calling that child that?" Like that's all she
well,
calls him. It's so weird. Like leave that little
well,
boy alone.
Elon left a little shit behind him at CPAC.
I
There's a
saw
video of
that.
it of him running and the kids trying to catch up. He's ignoring his child because he's
No,
in safe place now. He doesn't have to use him for bulletproofing.
yeah,
Tell
but
me I'm wrong. You know I'm
not
right.
only that, you are like the world's richest man, right? And you think like Elon Musk is like everybody else. He gets all kind of like threats and all that stuff, right? Why
Mhm.
is your child, when you are that much of a public figure and you are in a public place, you would just be like, hey, you know what, maybe walking don't work for you. You need to run over here because I will leave you. Or maybe he just thought, the hell with it. I got 13 more. I don't understand why he
What?
did that. That is horrible.
So explain to you guys. I'm going to bring something else up while we're here because also I think this is important. Kim with us and Terrence is that I made a video about something I saw a creator put out and I read about it in South Carolina. Um, my wife, her first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. Okay, she came home, she was pain, went into the hospital, it was over.
Mm.
Okay, South Carolina has introduced a bill at the state level that if a woman has a miscarriage, it must be investigated by the police. If if they determine a woman did something to cause the miscarriage, something the officer or an investigator said, like maybe she went horseback riding or she biked or she fell,
Or she
they
partied
could
too
charge the
hard.
woman with, yeah, or whatever. They could charge her with
Murder.
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 Yep.
Yes. I saw that, and
I
that is
saw that
disgusting.
too. Yeah.
Who, please, as God is my witness, who the fuck thinks of this shit?
Well, here's the thing, right? Half the time, and trust. Look, I was raised with a mother and four sisters. I've got a wife and four daughters. So I don't speak for women, but I understand the plight. They don't know they're pregnant. It takes a while before you know that you're pregnant, right?
Hmm.
And there's so many different things. My wife and I, we've been married for 31 years, and she was told 18 years ago that she couldn't have any kids. Well, actually, I take that back. 20 some years ago, my daughter is 28, and my youngest daughter is 18. They came out of the room and said, "Hey, listen, Mr. Bush, we've got to do a procedure to your wife. Are you planning on having any more kids?" No. He said, "Good, because once we do this, she's not having any more kids." Well, she ended up having one more. So nobody knows any of that stuff. And for these guys, to tell women what to do and how to do it, it's insane. It doesn't work.
Well, and another thing is when women are further along in a pregnancy and they have a miscarriage, it's something that they obviously wanted. They wanted that child if they're further along.
Yes.
Exactly.
And to say that they may be guilty of murder because they lost that child, that's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous because
I had a neighbor.
if they're 4 or 5 months and something happens, they wanted that child.
Exactly. So
Right.
Exactly.
I've got I hate to keep hogging up all the time, but I've got a
No,
perfect
we're good. Go
scenario.
ahead, Terrence.
Perfect scenario for that one. My neighbor. This is a true story. Her name is Sharon, and I just say what her first name was. She got pregnant, and she was excited because it was her very first pregnancy.
Mm.
And she came to my wife and I about 2 months after she was pregnant, and she says, "Hey, we just found out that our child is going to be born without arms and legs. What do we do?" And I'm
Mm.
like, I can't make that decision for you. You and Ronnie are going to have to pray on that or whatever you guys do to figure it out. So she had an abortion because she didn't want the child to go through life without arms and legs and ridicule and whatever the situation was. And my wife and I were kind of like, oh my God, what would we have done in that situation? And we dropped it. But then she had 4 beautiful kids after that. So
Yeah.
what do you do in a situation like that? You just never know what's going to happen.
I
Which
think
brings us back.
this is
Go
where did
ahead.
this
Oh, sorry.
myth start? And this is it should be insulting to all women and men too, if you have women in your lives, to think that a woman will plan a pregnancy. A woman will get her nursery together. She will be going to the doctor's appointments. She's picking out names for her child. She's sitting there with the little apps where you take a picture of yourself and a picture of your husband to see what your baby would look like. They think a woman will do all of that and then just say, yeah, I know I'm 8 months along, but I don't want to be pregnant anymore. And
Right.
it is just insulting for them to think that. It just pisses me off, and especially the women, because they know that crap is not true. And
Right.
they just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. It's just
Sharon was that
insulting, and
mother.
I don't know how women go along with that. It's insane that they repeat that kind of crap.
Well, if a woman gets that far, 8 or 9 months, and then, the Republicans are saying that, killing the baby after it's born and all that kind of stuff. If a woman gets that far along and she doesn't want the child, she's probably having the child and putting it up for adoption.
Yes.
And then
And
even
but
when they say this stuff about, when a woman is like 7, 8 months pregnant and something's happening, 9 times out of 10, they will do a C-section and then put the baby in NICU and try to help the baby out to
yes.
see if it can survive and the mother can survive. They try to keep you pregnant for as long as possible, because the
Right.
further along that you are, the more developed the baby is. And you, like that, what they're saying is like less than 1% of the time that it happens. And it's just
Even
kind of like you want
even
to
less than
traumatize
that.
it over.
Yeah. I think the answer kind of put in perspective for you also about how do women support that, MAGA women support that. There was a creator that brought this up, and I wish I had saved the video, but it was like the best description, because that's always bugged me. I mean, even if you get close to the power, you're still going to be secondary citizen to it. But she said MAGA women are those women who defend the man in the house or their husband when they see them going into the bedroom of their 9-year-old daughter at night.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But the point is correct, because we're talking about something totally disgusting and ludicrous. But there are women out there that will defend it to the T, who are MAGA,
Yeah.
and it makes no sense. And like the whole thing about reproductive rights, a lot of women lawyers were on this, what brought it all down in Missouri. And I
Yeah.
don't know how you live with yourself in that, because you're not. Look, if it's about kids, then why don't you want them to have school lunches?
Right.
Hi, someone explain that one to me.
Yeah, I have
I
no
always,
idea.
I always ask people that's hardcore pro-life, at what point do you stop being pro-life? And anytime they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Because when a woman is pregnant, you want her to go to the doctor, get her prenatal pills, her vitamins, everything. You want to do everything you can to take care of that child. And then when the child is born, you don't need WIC, you don't need TANF, you don't need food stamps to feed your baby, you don't need nothing for that child. And then you're not going to protect them when they're in school and with guns all over the place. It's like, at what point do you stop saying that's a child, that's a precious life, and we have to make sure that this child has everything that it needs? At what point do you cut that off? Is it the minute that they're born, or do you, when they start kindergarten, it's like, oh, F these kids now? So it's like, at what point do you stop being pro-life? And they never answer that question because they can't.
They won't answer. I got a question for you, old school.
Yeah.
Okay, so before all of the presidential election and all that business happened, there was a pastor out there that's within the Project 2025, and he was talking about women and voting. And his thing was women should not vote. Their husband should have the vote. And if they don't have a husband, their father should have. If they don't have a father, their uncle, their brother, and so forth, right? And now Project 25 is out. I'm sorry, not Project 25, but the SAFE Act is out, saying that you have to have the same name that's on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
And people thought I was crazy when I heard this pastor say that, but they're all in the same circle. I said that to my wife about 6 months ago and told her
Yeah.
this is going to be bad. And now the SAVE Act is out stating that your last name has to match your birth certificate. And that's what kicked it off down there in Roswell, Georgia, where the lady was like, hey, there's
Yeah, I
60
heard that. I saw
million
her.
of us. What are you going to do about that? This is all that Project 2025 business, but they
Yeah.
don't want to admit it. I don't understand it.
It's all about
See,
control, and they will not give up that control at all. And when you go to these evangelical churches, they really do control that audience, and they know who they're talking to. Because it was like last week, a pastor was telling his congregation, get them while they're young before they know better. Like he was in the pulpit saying that. And if you look at those laws, especially because I always like sneak in and out of red states, I'm pretty sure they're gonna find me one day. But in Texas, they literally have travel bans. So there's certain like towns that you drive through to get to, like Mexico or whatever. Those are travel bans if you're going to get an abortion. You go to another state and get an abortion and go back to Texas, if somebody snitches on you, they get paid to tell on you. And I think in Texas, the bounties are like $10,000 or something like that. And
yeah.
then they were having a hard time because of HIPAA getting these women's medical records that they suspected, and they just couldn't do it. So now their workaround, and a lot of people don't know this, is they're making the insurance companies in like these red states, they're making those insurance companies not pay if you went out of state and went to a doctor. So if you leave the state and you go to a doctor, your insurance cannot cover that unless you submit claims, like manually submit a claim so that they can reimburse the hospital. And so what they're going to do is look at the claims, and if your claims have you in like a hospital and getting an abortion or any kind of clinics and stuff like that, that's a way for them to find out that you did it, and then that's what
Wow.
leads to the prosecution. Not only that, but in Texas there's a couple other states that's like falling right behind them. It's a capital crime for doctors to do that, and even women are facing up to life in prison. But if you're a doctor and you take care of your patient, you're facing a death penalty. And it's insane that they are doing that, but they have to be extreme to make people compliant. Not only that, but you have to be extreme so women will not report getting raped or assaulted. Because if you report that and you end up pregnant, you're having your rapist baby regardless. So that's a way to keep women in line. They're not going to say anything when they get assaulted or anything like that. And they have every right to be scared, because the women I take in, it is very, very hard on them. And you have to do it all in secrecy. You couldn't even tell your best friend what you did, because you never know.
Dear
They have
God.
to get mad at you tomorrow and snitch on you. You never know.
And the other thing that goes along with that is that the teen pregnancy rate is going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you
Sadly, that's
noticed.
what they want.
Did you see that they're hiding? So they were keeping like research data, which anytime a woman had a miscarriage, or a woman died because she couldn't get care for her miscarriage, they were actually tracking that. And they've been tracking that for like 2 years in these red states. And as soon as Trump got elected, they dismantled all of those boards. And then a few people got fired, because remember Kamala Harris's campaign, she was having like women and their families come out and tell their stories. First, they were saying, okay, well, we'll just make it private so people won't have access to the number of women that's dying. Well, as soon as Trump got elected, they was like, yep, we're going to stop tracking that, get rid of all of the data that we save for that. It's completely gone. Everybody's fired. Nothing to see here, folks. Move on. So all of the data that they were using to track these women in these red states, they stopped tracking the information and got rid of the records. I have a feeling those records are going to start popping up, but that's what they
Yep.
did the moment Trump got elected. Insane.
Uh, See, you're in. Thanks for joining us. How you doing tonight?
Oh, hey, see Temptations.
Good evening. Happy Monday evening. How's everybody doing?
Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
okay.
we're doing good. We got on the we got on the women's reproductive rights, and that can be a sobering thing, unfortunately, when you're contemplating the stupidity and the utter cruelty of these
Mhm.
people overall in the name of God, which is even worse.
And you know, with their rape kits or assault kits, those kids are backdated for like years. So just think about it.
Oh,
You got
wow.
assaulted, you did your rape kit, you filed your police report, and then they take any type of forensic evidence that the man had left on you and they put it in a kit to be processed for DNA. Just imagine if you got assaulted today and then you get a phone call in 2028 saying, hey, we have a DNA match on, the rape that you had 3 years ago. A lot of women are going to be like, I grieved, I moved on, I've healed. I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to relive that again. And then that's how a lot of these women are getting away with it too, because the rape kits are so far behind. It could be years before you hear any type of DNA results on your case.
Well, the way things are going, if a woman wants to file and have all that evidence right now,
Hmm.
and 4 or 5 years from now, like you said, they come up and they say, "Oh, we know who the person was that raped you." Does that person then have rights to that child in the way our society's going?
I had one patient, I think I talked about this on a podcast with Duma, and she was 17, or I don't know if she was 17, she was like 16 or so. And she came here with her mother. And I was talking to her father on the phone, and he actually said, we were going to keep this baby and try to raise it on our own because, they're very religious. The thing that made them say, no, she has to go and get an abortion. And she's in high school, her boyfriend's in college. She told him no, and he raped her, and she got pregnant. But now his parents are saying, yeah, I'm sorry that my son raped your daughter. He should not have done that, but that's our grandbaby too. And we will go to court for grandparents' rights. And then that's when her parents was like, it's against what we believe in, but you need to flee this state and you need to have this taken care of. Because her father was about ready to like kill that guy's parents and him. So it was just kind of like, yeah, to keep him from going to jail, this is what she had to do.
It's so
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
it's so 19th century. Trump
It is.
made an announcement that he thought the richest part of the United States was during the early 19th century.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like reading that. It's where does he get this stupidity? The economics. I mean, he lives in a fantasy we can't live, and that we can't wrap around our heads around because we don't live there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Literally, I mean, his idea probably is of a world is looking like Louis the 14th. Unfortunately, Louis the 14th had a bad ending.
So did
Um,
Caesar. Did you see that at CPAC? They have pictures
no,
of him as like Julius Caesar at CPAC. Look it up. Just look it up. And it's like,
But
you want to know what
you know
happened with
what it
Caesar?
is, and let me jump in on this. You know what it is because Donald Trump is 78 years of age. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
He has this mentality like, he wants to operate the country like it's still like the 1920s, 1930s. And he
Yeah.
doesn't understand that this is 2025. Times have changed. People, like I said, we're dealing with a new generation of people. That's number two. And number three, he has to understand that we're not our ancestors. We have to live for today,
Right.
not what happened, back then. We're living for now. I think that man is demented. I really do.
I think so. Somebody told him about the Gilded Age. It has to have been. And so to him, it's just like, oh yeah, that's great. We can have all the money and everybody else is like working for peanuts. I love that. And when he started saying that, I was like, somebody told him about the Gilded Age, and if we went back to that, how great his life would be.
yeah,
But
that's
that
where
that he
revolutions
can't
came
live in the
from.
past. That time is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, he really
And
doesn't worry about going back to the early part of the 1900s when they had prohibition because he doesn't drink. So,
Didn't do
Yeah,
he
that's
drugs,
what
so
should.
his
maybe he
mindset
need to
is
go
on. He
talk to
wants
Don
to
Jr.
operate this country like, in the past. And he can't
Yeah.
do that. I mean, we have to live for now. And if you think about it, all those people that's in the government, like, and I don't have nothing against them, like Bernie Sanders and Maxine Waters, people like that, they old. It's time for new blood to get in there and, to think about the issues what we're facing far as today, far as facing the present issues, not what happened 20, 30 some years ago or 40 some years ago and try to operate on those old school terms because that's not going to work.
You know what, see, Temptation, I was like what you just said, I was thinking about it because we do need to get the old guard out and we need the AOCs, the Jasmine Crockett's. I don't even think Hakeem Jeffries should be Speaker of the House. That's just me. But is their fault in Congress because both Jasmine and AOC applied for senior positions and were shut down? Like for us, the voters, as well as other like younger members in the House, we have
Uh-huh.
to support them and we have to vote the older people out. But every time we have an election, we send the same raggedy people right back up in there.
Now
It's
like
the
don't get
bubble.
me wrong, cause like people like Maxine Waters, she's like in her 80s. Mitch McConnell, he's about to get ready to retire. He's in his 80s. Bernie Sanders, I don't have anything against him, but in the same breath, it's time for new people to get in office. They need to change the rule in terms about how long a senator or a congressman should, serve in office. Cause then, people like that, they need to retire. They're just too old.
Um,
They need to step down.
How do you get
Mitch
the public
McConnell.
to vote for like younger people or that next generation? I was trying to figure out like how do we get them in? Because the old guard, they have so much money. So I
Here,
think maybe we
here's
start
how.
with getting money out of politics, maybe, and then how do we do that? I don't
Well,
know.
they need somebody
Go
like
ahead,
me,
Terrence.
right? Yeah, they need somebody like me. There was a movie way back in the day with Chris Rock and Bernie Mac. Remember that? And Bernie
Oh
Mac was,
gosh. No, you didn't bring up Bernie Mac.
yes, I did.
Was it head of state?
Yes, head of state. When
Hmm.
Chris Rock was the president and Bernie Mac was slapping the shit out of people on the subway, right? I'm that guy. They need a guy who doesn't have anything to lose, right? Like, I'm not political. I can
Hmm.
go up there and say whatever the hell I want to say and get my point across. And that's what Bernie Mac was. He was the wingman. He was his brother. And he will go up there and anybody said anything bad about the president, here comes that hand across the face. And I would be that voice for everybody.
I love it.
Yes,
Wow.
I
so
swear I
it
would.
just
I would get up there and say the shit that we're saying now because I can't be affected, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
right.
running for anything. I'm not doing. I'll say what I got to say and go to work and do my thing, and then that's the end of it. And hopefully change some minds in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of because you want to do that with some people because like you hear some people speak and you just want to go. You know what? I don't want to debate you. I just want to get over here and get a baseball bat and have a discussion with you.
Well, I was just
And
throwing
it
a
Not a
sounds
thought, right?
baseball
and it
bat.
sounds it sounds cruel and I get it, but it's kind of like you know what? You won't listen to me, so I just have to beat the sense into you. Is that logical? No,
Well, sure it is, because I would
absolutely
be
not.
that main governor
Yeah.
on steroids. Is what I would be.
Yes,
Period.
Hell, put me
and
up there. I'll be the head bitch in charge and just knock the shit out of somebody.
yeah,
Cause some of them people, like Maxine Waters, Bernie Sanders, they make a lot of sense. But people like Mitch McConnell, you be sitting back going, what in the hell is he talking about?
yeah.
Right.
well,
Well, is
you have
that
to remember
before
Mitch.
or after he
Go
falls and
ahead.
bumps his head?
That
Well,
too.
everyone's see the thing about Mitch McConnell. Everyone's seen his current state. I just remember him during the Obama years, who's only instead of helping the country, his only job was to stop the president, and he
Yeah.
kept doing it for decades. Mitch McConnell will go down as the politician with the most power who did the least amount of anything.
He said it out
Right.
loud.
I
He
had
said, "My only job is to stop Obama from being
and
successful." Period.
and the point is Obama still was kind of successful. I think that my opinion with Barack is that he didn't have enough of Joe Biden in here where he didn't tout his stuff and wasn't more forceful. He
Mm-hmm.
really needed the anger guy to speak to him from Keenan Peele. That should have been his voice, honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
The
I was in a
most,
barber shop about 10 years ago, and one of our Republican candidates or whatever the fuck he was came in, and he and I started talking. He was like, "You get it. You should be my running mate." I'm like, "Dude, go fuck yourself." No, I'm no, absolutely not.
Damn.
no,
I
no,
And
think the most like egregious part about what Mitch McConnell did is when he wanted to get the Supreme Court justices that we have now. That's what he wanted the courts to look like. He wanted the tax cuts for the millionaires and billionaires. He got everything that he wanted, and he sacrificed it for the over the country, over us, right? So
yes,
when it came time to impeach Trump, he literally had no reason not to kick his butt out because you got
none.
everything that you could possibly get out of Donald Trump. So just go ahead and let him go. And he could not do it. I think that decision is coming back to like bite him in his butt. I really, really
I
do.
think
Because I
that's
think I
why his
read
health
somebody
turned the
that
way
one
it
of the
did.
Democrats that started a process of filing impeachment.
Oh,
Eh,
yeah, I
I
heard
forgot the
that
person's
too.
name. I could look it up.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I
there's
heard
a
that
problem
too.
with that in two ways. First of all, we got to get those three swing states, three
Yeah.
swing state votes, so that we can take over the House. And
Right.
then the next part of it is there has to be something that goes on in the Congress because they're the ones that actually indict. You know, we can impeach Trump again if we get the leadership in the House and the the numbers, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
go to the House to the Congress again to the senators, and they won't indict him, which is why he never was put out of office the last time we impeached
That's
him.
true.
And you know what?
but
As
see,
far as Elon Musk is
good.
concerned, I really believe it's just a matter of time that somebody's going to arrest him because he's broken too many laws. So I really think that it's a matter of time. Either he's going to wind up in jail or in the morgue, one or the other.
I think the reason that Elon Musk is not afraid, like at all, he just don't care, is because he knows that if he commits any federal crime and gets arrested, there goes his pardon. You know what I mean? Like
But see,
he
there's no
feels like he's invincible, and that's why he has no qualms about what he's doing
well,
at all.
yeah. Considering that the DOJ is basically Trump's thing, the FBI is Trump's thing. He's never going to get arrested until afterwards. This is going to be literally when this ends, and I'll say this: if we live long enough, I do, or a lot of us, and we get to the end of this, and we get our country back, there
Hmm.
will be a Nuremberg trial like come to Jesus meeting for these people. They're not going to like it. They're all going to go to jail because eventually it will catch up with them. Um, it's it's so frustrating to watch people on board with this.
Yeah.
I think Rebecca said it in the last when I was with Mike that all they care about is owning the libs. But if
Hmm.
you live like that, you're going to die lonely, broke, and with nothing in your life.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, there's an emptiness to these people that bothers me because you can't reach across that gap. They have sold their soul to this hate because they haven't known anything. They haven't accomplished anything in their life. They never moved to accomplish anything in their life. They're not
Hmm.
happy with the art, so everyone else has to be miserable.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's enough of them that have given us a man who lives on chaos and misery. And
Yeah.
then he brought in his little buddy with money, and this guy just lives for that. I've never seen someone just live to make other people's life miserable than Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Period.
he's so cruel with it. The way that he's firing people when he was on CPAC with the chainsaw, like I'm slashing the government, i.e., I'm taking away these people's jobs, and there's people in the audience clapping and cheering for that crap. And it is so disgusting to see. For me, when Trump is
And,
being racist, that's Trump being Trump. When Musk is being
yeah,
racist, that's just Musk. But when you see the crowds and you see how many people are really on board with this crap, and then you look at the numbers for the election, to me, that's the scary part. Is because it's like, look at these people over here. It's like too many to be going along with this crap. For me, that's the scary part.
100%. I told my wife the other day, I said, hey, something bad is going to happen because you've got
Mhm.
people's livelihood at stake. You've got so many people. This guy is fired. Somebody's going to snap, and it's going to be bad. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But something is going to happen, and we're all going to be in awe. And I
Yeah.
think we'll take a pause and a reset and go back to where things were. But it's going to be bad.
Yeah. Well, did
well,
Yeah.
anybody?
we're good. It's going to be the start of the. It's a domino that could start everything because they're pushing it. They really think and understand Washington's a bubble. Okay, the reason that you see those Republican congressmen flipped out of all these town meetings, and they're not going to have anyone. There was a congressman in Colorado who stiffed his
Yep.
because they
Yeah.
were waiting for him. He was lying. They were all lying in wait, and he left because he knew he was DOA. But the point is,
Yeah.
they live in the bubble of Fox News, Washington, thinking that what they're doing. Because like the Republican senator from Oklahoma, when asked, "What about the people losing their jobs? I mean, they're losing their livelihood?" He still cheered it. We have to fix the government spending, dude.
Exactly.
No, there's no. This is not fixing government spending. This is just firing people for the sake of firing people. Because
Yeah.
that's not saving money.
Look, they
Because here's
fired
what's
the
go
guy.
ahead.
They fired the guy in Yosemite National Park, the only guy that has the key to the restrooms and knows
Right.
how to unlock the goddamn bathrooms. They
Because
fired
and
that
the thing
fuck.
about it is, someone put up. And how many of you guys are Twilight Zone fans? Watch the
Yes.
show.
Newer
Yeah, I
Yes.
older.
watched
Okay.
it from back in the day.
Yeah. So Rod Serling was an extreme anti-fascist person, especially because he came through McCarthyism. He saw the blacklisting. He wrote several episodes of the Twilight Zone that dealt with it. There's one that's making the rounds on TikTok with Burgess Meredith as a librarian in a totalitarian society who's being put to death because he is now obsolete. Why is he obsolete? Because he's a librarian. He's obsolete because he didn't bring anything to the society that these people felt were worth it. And if I was listening to the words of the main character, that's the voice of the government, I hear the Republican Party. I hear Musk. I hear Trump. These people who work for the government, who do the servicing, or librarians and all that, are obsolete. The only thing that matters is if you have money and you can fuck over your neighbor. And I watched that and I'm going, it rings so hard now because these people think they are worth more than any one of us.
Yeah.
Anything we do for our life is meaningless to us, to them, because we didn't create anything they have. But you have two men on top who didn't create anything, who haven't given anything to society other than pain and misery, period,
Yeah.
and collected money for it.
I have a theory about Musk and Cash Patel.
Mm.
Okay. I think those guys are going to end up going at it at some point because Musk has his, you got to do your 5 points by the end of the day today. And Cash Patel told the FBI to ignore that.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were on the same page with that, Cash Patel wouldn't have told the FBI to stand down on that email. He would have
Who's
let,
Trump gonna choose? Cash Patel or Musk? That's
yeah,
a good question.
it's going to be like, I don't know who to choose. I wouldn't choose either one, but I want to wait to see if the two of them end up going at it at some point.
I got
Because
one. I got one better than that. Oliver's mom. What about Steve Bannon and Musk? Steve Bannon despises Musk, and Steve Bannon is Trump's like number two guy. So you are absolutely correct. The shit is finna hit the fan.
Yes,
But the
definitely.
thing with Steve Bannon, I go back and forth with him because when he's on his show and he's the one that's been going at Musk the most public and the most hardcore. And
Right.
then he turns around and does his salute at CPAC. And
Yeah.
Steve Bannon, he was the reason that the French president refused to go to CPAC. He's like, that's just out of pocket. So the EU is getting sick of Bannon as well. So I'm just like, well, what is he doing? He's like being buddy with Musk and doing the salute. And then at the same time, he's bashing him. I don't know if he just needs his medication or what, but I keep going back and forth with him on that.
Not with RFK in charge. That medication is going to go bye-bye.
Oh, he said the medications to treat depressions, he's gonna take a look at those. And I'm just like, there's people with serious mental disorders that need that medication. If you cut them cold turkey off,
I heard a
what the heck
guy,
is gonna happen?
old school. I heard a guy the other day says, "Hey, listen, I can't tell reality from dreams. Are you sure you want to take my medicine away?"
Yeah, and that's
Let
the
me kind of
thing.
jump in on that a little bit
Go ahead,
because I
Steve.
have a serious problem with RFK Jr. Why would they allow him to just take that type of position? He has not had any experience. He's had
Hmm.
past alcohol and drug problems. And then the word going around and saying it's supposed to be a measles epidemic in the state of Texas. And I don't know if it's the fact that he has an issue in terms of children being vaccinated, which they need to be vaccinated in order to protect them from that type of disease. And just like you said, though, he's trying to take the medication away from people with mental illnesses. That's just foul. It's foul as hell, and it doesn't make any sense.
Not
And
only that, but the misinformation because his response to that was that it's benefits of having the measles. Like that's his response, and he's one of these people who believe in herd immunity. Let everybody get sick, and your system will naturally fight it. What about the people's whose system can't naturally fight it? You know what I mean? So you're
It's
gonna be like, the heck with millions and millions of Americans, just so the rest of them can build up a tolerance to disease.
no. Trust me, for someone who contracted measles as a kid, it was the most miserable time of my life. Joints swelled up. It's a horrible thing to
Yeah.
inflict on your children. He is basically a nut, and that is another thing that we have to lay at the Republican Party's feet. They are so cowardly, even
Mm-hmm.
though they let a man like this loose on the American public, a man who has no medical training, is now
Yeah.
running human health and human service and the CDC.
Well, he has a little bit
And
of medical training because he said that heroin helped him out.
I mean, you could even tell the way he speaks and articulate. He has no articulation, and then when you try to listen to him, you be like, "What the hell did he say?" I mean,
In
and then
between,
talking about taking the people off of their medications for like mental illnesses and sending them somewhere down to a farm, and I'm sitting up here like,
Yeah.
what in the fuck is he doing? What is he thinking?
and
he
he's
must have come off of chopping off a whale's head or putting a bear in Central Park or
Something,
some stupid
something.
shit.
and taken the kids with ADHD and dumping them into that whole group that needs to come off their medications. Now that's
And then and the part that gets to me is, they're taking away the information from the CDC, and then we can't get
oh
no
God,
updates of
yes,
what's going on. I'm like, what the hell?
well, they did have to bring back some of the CDC people because they were in charge of the bird flu stuff.
Right, the bird
gee,
flu,
what
and
a
then I
shock.
read it's supposed to be a new strand of COVID now, and it's like even when people take, those home tests, for COVID, and it
Yeah.
could come back negative, and you could still have the virus.
I was
That's
just
how
getting ready to
scary
Yeah,
it
say that.
is.
I was just going to say
yeah.
that because
I'm
there's a
gonna
new
make you all
strain of
nervous.
COVID down in freaking China, and it happens every time Trump's here. I don't get it.
Oh yeah, it's bat transmitted. Yeah, I saw that. Trump is. I swear to God, it's like Revelations, guys. Pestilence. It showed up.
Well, we did
And
elect the
this,
Antichrist.
And one thing that scares the hell out of me too, I live in Atlanta. The CDC is in Atlanta. Okay. Do you know what
Mhm.
they have at the CDC? In the building, locked down?
Oh, germs. I've been
Um,
with germs and
yeah,
viruses.
horrible things that you don't want loose. And you start firing people at the CDC?
Oh God.
Okay. Okay. See, that's the thing. This is not, again, anyone who tells you through all your interactions with MAGA dummies, if they tell you they're cutting waste or anything, they're full of shit. They're just
Them
firing
people is
people.
nutty as
And
a fruitcake, man, and you know it. They just as nutty
yeah.
as a fruitcake, and they
And the
constantly
one thing
bringing
that,
on these people, to fill these positions. They have no experience, and they don't even know what the hell. Half of them don't know what the hell they
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring up one last thing because it's getting late and I have to, like the rest of you, I have to work. And this has been a great conversation. I love where we went, guys. Thank you. If you're watching this, this will be up on YouTube for tomorrow under Binder 38 US. But one
I
thing that
have
bothers me,
my last thing that I have to say to if you know anybody that's Hispanic or anything like that with these ice raids that's going on. I don't know if you guys see Hawk, but remember last time I was telling you about the guys dressing up in ice and assaulting
hmm
women and all that stuff? Hawk posted a video today of a guy giving an interview with his ice outfit on. And
I
he
saw
said,
him.
are you a part of ICE? And he said, no, I just dress up like this and go to like Home Depot and stuff so I can make all of the immigrants run around. But
And
even though he is doing it to be a jerk, there are men out there doing that. Hey, I'm going to detain you if you don't have sex with me. So they're out there doing that crap too. So
yeah,
people just need to be on the lookout for that. That's my last thing.
yeah.
Be
Yeah, I'm
safe.
going to bring up something real quick because we're talking about Musk and the money. That whole $5,000 dividend bullshit, we all know that's con, right? That is just so much bullshit. Everyone's going to get $5,000 from the savings. And you know it's a joke, but I'm reading through my news feed, just looking through it. Money Magazine actually said that that's what's going to happen. This is why the mass media is out to kill us all. Money
Yeah.
Magazine is saying, yeah, $5,000. That's what's going to be. That's what's promised by the government. Are you out of your goddamn minds?
Yeah, but
Are,
did they talk to
are,
Mike Johnson about it? Because Mike Johnson says, yeah, we're not in the business of handing out money.
you
And you
know
know
what?
what?
I
Even
was just
Jasmine
getting ready to
Crockett
say
said
that,
the same
Terrence.
thing, because, unless you have the proper knowledge and education about how the government runs, you don't know. I mean, because that type of decision, it has to go through Congress.
But would they even ask, okay, is Trump going to write us a check? It better not be from his personal account because it's going to bounce. And you know Musk is not going to give us
Uh-uh.
a check. So where do they
Oh, and
think this
you
money is going to come from?
and you remember in some there were very many blacks for Trump who voted for
Hmm.
Trump because he gave them the stimmy check because he wrote his name on it.
Yeah, those were
They're
Obama
looking
checks.
for their stimmy. Dude, they
Yeah.
gave us $2,000. What the hell? I
Yeah, but it
mean,
wasn't it
that's
wasn't even Trump's checks. Those were Obama's
no. He
checks.
just he
And he
he
says I didn't
actually
put my name on it.
well he delayed checks so they could put his name on the checks
Yeah.
on the first time around. It's
Exactly.
such an ego stupidity, and the reason they come up with it because Trump, who's the ultimate con man, said, "Hey, just promise them a little money, we can get away with more shit." Because these people are that dumb, and
Yeah.
that's true.
I saw
But
something scary today. I saw a representative sitting there with the new spending bill in front of him. And he's talking about the things that he believes from reading this bill that are going to be cut. And he mentioned Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
He sure did.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's scary. That is
Wasn't it like
scary.
was it 80 or 84 billion or something they were cutting? Like a third.
$880 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like a third, right? Of what they're cutting?
It's all of it. It's
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna say
entire
that's
spending
all of
budget
it.
for Medicaid.
Yeah, that's all of it. 880 billion. That's all of it.
Yeah. And
And
that's,
if you
Mm,
and
mm,
to
mm.
piggyback on Kim, if you follow the rest of that budget, also included is the tax cuts for the rich, and the cost is $4.3 trillion.
oh, yeah. Yep.
It's in fucking writing.
Yeah.
This
That
is
would
so
bankrupt
dumb.
this country.
Oh,
This is so sad.
wow. And you know, and I want to also point out, if in terms of Social Security is concerned, Trump can't cut that off though, because a lot of people already paid into that. So it's like, you know, that's another part right there that's really scary to me.
Well, isn't
Yeah,
it a
they can't.
totally separate fund?
It is. It's an annuity. It's not a tax or an entitlement. It's an annuity. Where we pay in and we're supposed to get it back. I mean, I draw a pension from Teamsters. That's an annuity. It's the same thing that Social Security is. But all these people running around going, it's fake fraud tax money. Whenever I bring up Social Security, I go, well, don't you want your tax money spent? No, that's my money. I
That's
have
right.
nothing to do with what that. And just because someone can't read the fucking programming and don't understand it works, oh, by the way, you fired the person that knows about it. This is what we get. It's an excuse, as someone said. Trump only goes after things if he can get an excuse. And Trump, they said, Trump, are you going to touch Social Security? He goes, no, as long as there's no fraud.
Well,
Remember all the stories about fraud.
we
Well,
call
then
it
you
low
gotta.
hanging fruit.
Well,
That
how
is,
can he determine whether it's fraud or not if people already have paid into Social Security?
He's going to
Elon
use.
said it.
He's
Elon said it.
Yeah, he's going to use that report that Elon put out that there's 300-year-old people still receiving checks.
What
well,
And
Elon
he's a
needs to do
fucking
is go somewhere
moron.
and sit down and leave that information alone, though, because if he's not an official government employee, he shouldn't have access to that information in the first place.
What
well,
is that
part
called?
of the problem
Cobol or
is
Cobol or whatever it is?
yes,
That's an
Cobalt.
old
yes,
It's
program. That was an
Cobalt.
old program. That's
and
old.
these
Yeah, it's an
young
old.
kids
It's
don't
one
know
of
how
the
to use it.
original. Yeah, it's one of the original programmings that got away from the ones and O's. When computers started, first one was Fortran, but Fortran couldn't take care of business, so they developed COBOL,
Right.
and they
Yeah, I
used
remember studying
COBOL
COBOL when I was in college.
exactly. And the thing about it is, the COBOL is that system is so old they had to jury rig it because in order to fix the system cost too much money. So you just kind of roll with it. And it's what they
Exactly.
did for years. But you get these dumbasses coming in here. These kids are not smart. They don't know what COBOL is. They couldn't read a line of code to save their lives. They lived in Windows.
Well,
They
they're
But
up
they're
live
there
in
not.
things
playing
that
They're
were
hacky
not.
sack.
beast made to you.
Yeah, they're
I
not
mean,
Say
but
again,
what do
sir?
you
educated.
expect, though? I mean, because they Elon Musk, they got these pimple faced young scammers. They don't know their left hand from their right. Come on now.
They're not
No, you
accountants. They're not CPAs. These are computer
no.
hackers.
Exactly.
And
Right.
then when you investigate like a company, if you think there's any kind of fraud there, when you invest like just a regular mom and pop company, it can take months to investigate that. But you're over here and you're saying you're finding hundreds of millions of billions of dollars in fraud, and you found that within 2 days from some computer hackers with no accounting background at all. And everybody's like, yep, they said they found fraud. I'm going to believe it because I'm a sheeple people. Like they literally do not understand how that works. They don't know. Didn't Trump tell these people for 4 years that he was being audited? But you can go over here and within like 3 days find $100 million worth of fraud. And not only are people stealing billions and billions of dollars, we're not pressing charges on any of these people.
Well,
Did you hear
Nope.
a
they
few
are.
days ago they was debating about they were Trump, they was talking about Elon Musk said that he wasn't the head of Doge, and then Donald Trump, I think at a press conference, he did admitted that Elon was Musk is the head of Doge. I'm like,
Yeah.
Musk is gonna get himself caught up. He gonna get himself in a world of
Yeah.
trouble. It's just a matter of time.
Well, they
All
figure
I
This
gotta
all
is
say
this.
to
They figure
all I
this
gotta
stuff
say to
good.
out.
Musk is stay away from Letitia James. That's all I gotta say to Musk. Because that woman right
That ain't
there,
gonna happen.
He
That's
she
not
she
gonna
is
happen.
she
no.
is once she get a hold of that butt, he is not gonna be able to get let go.
She won
That is
her
the
case,
woman
by
that's
the
a
way.
problem.
I
And
saw
I
it
Oh
today.
love
yes,
She
Letitia
won it.
James because she will shut all that down. She'll be like, nope, can't do it.
No, you're
yep.
right. She won her case today. And then in between them,
Exactly.
these guys playing hacky sack or ping pong or whatever the crap, they can find
Hacky sack.
$57 million, right? I don't get it.
No,
Mm-mm.
yeah. This is a big con that the Congress has let go on. But I'll say this as we close out, guys, and I want to appreciate you, Terrence, Also, see, Kim, thanks for hanging in there. We had a good discussion. A lot of stuff that I hadn't thought about it. You guys are really good. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, anytime,
Um,
man. Call me up anytime.
appreciate you.
Well,
I
thanks, Will.
appreciate you. But
Same
yeah,
here.
the
I
thing
mean,
is that we,
I don't mind being part of the panel. I mean, because these are important, topics that
yes,
need to be addressed.
Yeah.
and just remember, because like when you talk to people about all this, and they talk shit, and they say, well, or they give up, ask them what this title of this live is. What you going to do? What you going to do? Are you going to sit there
Mhm.
whine and bitch? Or are you going to make something happen? Are you going to do something? Are you going to stand up for somebody? Because if
Yeah.
you're not, you're no better than Trump and MAGA. As simple as that.
And they
So
cowards.
exactly.
I mean,
So
I will state this. I mean, people, if any, and that's for goes for people in on this chat as well. Reach out to your local congressman. Reach out to your local officials. And just if you got to call them, email them, whatever you have to do. I mean, just get the word out there and say, well, hey, I don't agree with these, what Trump is doing, and just put it in simple terms why.
Yeah.
exactly,
And then look out for each other as much as possible, especially with them, taking away the video health appointments with Medicare. If you know a
exactly,
senior citizen or someone in your area, to say, hey, I'm off on, Thursdays and Fridays. If you ever need drive to a doctor's appointment or pick up your prescription. These is my days off. Give me like a week heads up notice so I can make plans, and just look out for each other if you can, even if you can't
Yeah, because
like help
and
them.
I said this on Mike's live before just a few days ago that I'm totally disagreeing with that because you have a lot of people that's using walkers, wheelchairs,
Yeah,
canes, and some of the and people that are disabled. There's no way they could be able to, physically get to a doctor. Sometimes they don't have no choice but to do telemed.
exactly.
yeah,
Hey,
Well,
Bender.
that's what we.
Hey, Bender.
But
I want to call somebody out. I typically wouldn't do this, but
Will,
oh, Will. Somebody
yes.
says that Trump is just fulfilling his prophecies, and I told him
Oh, I
he's.
saw him. I blocked him. I got
Did
him.
you? All right, good. I told him
Thank
he's in the
you.
wrong room. Yeah.
I saw him. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's not doing anything. That's the MAGA. That's where they are at. So here's the thing, guys. We're doing the right thing by just causing good trouble. That's what we're going to
yeah,
do. The point is that we're going to have to be prepared for the next step if it comes to us. And I think talking to all you guys, we're about ready to go down if it comes to it. But I want to thank you guys. This has really been probably my best live with all you guys, and I really appreciate you. This live will be up on YouTube in a few minutes once it downloads. You'll find me at Binder38 US at YouTube. Please join because I think that's going to be the haven once this goes the way of the dodo. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Terrence, also C, Kim, please
good
be safe out
night.
there, my friends, and take care of yourself. All right?
Right on, brother.
You too. Good night.
Appreciate
Good
you.
Have a
night.
good night,
Night.
everybody, and everybody in the chat. Have a great night and stay safe as well. And let us know when is the next live. Will.
You got you. Take care, guys.
All right. Good night.